What's up, everybody? This is Case Study QB, and we are in the pre-show. So we're just gonna chill, relax. I see Holly's already in the chat. PJ Holly, what's going on? And then we're gonna start the show at 8, promptly at 8. And our PJ Imani, should be coming through shortly. I told her to come through at 7:50, and then we go from there. Have her on the show. What's going on, peoples?
Chilling, man.
Damn, everybody's quiet all of a sudden.
We're trying to set up.
Was this a podcast or something?
Is it pre-show?
I guess not, because nobody's talking. Like, this is not a podcast.
But let me show you the Streamlabs app fixed this thing. So, Belon, look at this.
Oh,
You can do it from the phone now.
Nice. Okay, I like that.
Wait, from the phone? What? I'm so far behind.
I'm using Streamlabs,
Come on, Izzy, use your technology background.
and they got an app, and it has like a Stream Deck type deal on the phone. I just need to add more reactions. Though.
You guys, let me know if you can hear this.
Hey, can you let Bendone in, please?
No.
Who's emerged as the most
kinda low.
progressive president in the history of the United States.
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
Richie Torres being an ass.
I know, right?
Oh,
But you said you can hear it, but it's low. You said?
It was a little low, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully.
Wait, so hold on. So that still works. Oh, but then we're gonna get cut off, right? Like,
Yeah. So, man, I guess it started some fire with. Did you guys see the beef between the Queen, BJG, Brianna Joy Gray, and Richie Torres? They went back and forth at it.
I just saw a little bit.
Yeah,
Like people saying, go run for something.
yeah. I
guess
saw
the
Vanguard.
Queen, the Queen Bree, and
Yeah.
the King Clown.
Yeah, I know, right?
I thought you talking about the Queen of England, like how she got sick.
Nah, nobody cares. But yeah, you know what?
Queen
I'm
Bee.
gonna bring it up. So it was. I saw the Vanguard covered it because I wouldn't
Wanna bumble.
have known about
You
it.
wanna
Shout out to the
rumble with the
Vanguard, man.
bee?
They be spitting fire.
Yeah, they on top of the stuff, boy. They
Put
on
a
top of
hex
that
on the
stuff.
whole family.
As Izzy would call them, he would call them crazy communists.
who?
He would call Izzy would call the Vanguard crazy Jimmy Dore conspiracy theorists.
The Vanguard.
Uh-oh.
But the Vanguard, shout out to them.
I
You
don't
should check
know
them
much
out.
about them.
Yeah. They
what
blew
is
up really
this?
quick. They blew up like
Yeah.
I think they have like 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers, something like that. They blew up, and then they provide some really good content. So check them out.
Definitely check them out. Cool peoples. I was on their show promoting the Gauntlet, so that was very nice of them. to
Oh, I
allow me
missed
to
that.
come on.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, that was very nice of them. Oh,
Why
the
am I
new
hearing-
site.
Yeah.
By the way, so Gabe, and for anybody else, the new People's Gauntlet site is up, and on the front page you can go down and there's a section that has like People's Gauntlet promoted in independent left media, something like that, and it has 5 links. So it has the Vanguard. So all you have to do is click on it and it'll go to it, and then it has Harlan's Media, Rational National, Jen Perlman, and
Jimmy Dore.
no, not
No,
Jimmy
no,
Dore. And I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yo, guys, just so you're aware, I was hearing Discord before. I don't know whose Discord is playing through. I don't think it's me this time.
Oh, it could be me. Let me close it.
Gave him his brand new office.
Yeah, you know it. Capitalism, baby.
Ah, there it is. Who else is in the chat? PJ Neat is in the building. What's going on, my man?
Wait, do you guys still hear the Discord?
I heard a vibration. I heard.
Okay,
Somebody's
I just
phone.
heard it on my side. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't coming through for
Crowley.
everybody.
Yeah. I heard
Oh,
a
but no one was
vibration.
sending a test. Okay. All right, as long as you're not hearing it, then we're good.
Yeah, maybe it's going through
Yeah.
your headphones.
That's okay, as long as you're not hearing it. So, Beton, what is FXLK? What is this a new term I'm not familiar with?
It's the new way how to say folk.
Oh yeah, is that? Did you just make that up?
I've seen it used around.
I don't think you have.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think you misspelled it.
Whoa,
I think what you meant to say was this.
Canceled.
He just called you a liar.
Canceled.
Did you mean that, Beton, in the chat?
Just let everybody know, this is the pre-show.
I spelled it wrong.
All
I
right,
thought it was
so
some kind of FX Netflix combination or something.
All right, let's start talking about some. Even though the pre-show, I know we here chilling, but I'm gonna.
Yeah,
show
let's
some
talk.
stuff.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
talk about some other stories we're not gonna talk about later, man.
Yeah, you want to do that now?
Yeah.
Because I was gonna go through some bookmarks, tweets, but
Did you guys see AOC's Instagram stories?
oh, you know what though? I got the names of those guys are still there. So of you guys, your full name. Let me see. Let me see if I can play this and then fix that. I'm gonna play Richie Torres. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe open a link for them separately.
All right. Let's see.
The Progressive Caucus is enormously grateful to President Biden, who's emerged as the most progressive president in the history of the United States.
Of all time.
And he's intent on passing not one, but two of the largest infrastructure investments in American history. And the purpose of the meeting was to impress upon members of Congress a sense of urgency around landing these planes as swiftly and as smoothly as we can. The Progressive Caucus is enormously grateful.
Yeah.
What are
So
we talking about, dude?
yo, as you can see, that went viral. We got 50,000 views. Yo, I saw the Vanguard covered it, and other people. Brianna Joy Gray, she retweeted it. Yeah, that's crazy.
So can I channel Felipe for a second?
Go ahead, my man.
You know, because he said before, based on like the platform alone, yes, like it was like the most progressive platform, which is a plus. But then the negative is like, damn, that's the best we've ever done.
Much.
So it's like you could be technically right and still be, you know.
Yeah. No, he's not right though. He's nowhere close to being right. Like
Wait, what do you mean?
FDR was probably the most progressive because we got Social Security, we got a whole bunch of different things. And
yeah, he also cut out black people out of some of that stuff.
He did, but he still. I mean, and I totally agree with you. Wasn't right. He also interned Japanese, right? So that you could point to.
So automatically canceled? Like, how are you gonna say that that's the most progressive president ever? He may have had some progressive policies, but if you're interning Japanese people and cutting black people out of those policies, I think you automatically lose the award.
Let me ask you this question: who's more progressive than Franklin D. Roosevelt?
I mean, it has to be Joe Biden right now.
Maybe LBJ.
Joe Biden. He didn't even pass the human infrastructure.
No.
Trying. I mean, at least he's trying.
You don't get points.
Wait, this needs to be no calzone.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
Hold on. Guys, it is 2021. We are 1 year through his presidency. You're comparing him to people that already have full terms. Are we
so
serious?
let's not call him that yet.
Then even Trump did. It's crazy, and we
Yeah,
call
because he's a Democrat. That's what Democrats do. Don't we always deport more than the previous president?
I'm working on my high tech.
So wait, hold on, Izzy. So, like we said, you got to get points on what you pass, right? I could give of Joe Biden that award if he was fighting for human infrastructure. If we had at least a 3.5, like that's me giving the bare minimum. The 3.5, if he was able to convince Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, and what I mean by convince is use carrot and sticks. You know, he could have threatened to put I think it was his daughter that committed fraud, put her in jail and say, hey, we could go easy on her or we could put her in jail. You got to vote for this 3.5. If he would have got that done, then I would be leaning in your direction. But as of right now, he only passed the COVID infrastructure bill, and then he still hasn't passed anything else. We're just discussing the other things.
But there's a difference between what Congress has passed and what his policies are. You have to make that distinction. I understand just because he hasn't passed anything, that doesn't mean that you can't. Like that's like saying that if you're looking at a baseball team because the Yankees were such bad hitters, the pitching staff is no good. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
There's two pieces to this puzzle here.
What he should have said then. So what he should have said was that his policy are the most progressive that we have, but what does it mean to be the
most progressive president? Not the most progressive, federal government in history. The most progressive president. What does that mean? His policies are progressive.
Yeah, but his policy.
Go ahead.
I think what I was saying is he had like the most progressive platform as far as what he wanted to do. But as far as deeds, he's not the most progressive. But even FDR is more than him, and like I was saying, LBJ. So he has.
Okay, so going back to FDR, you wouldn't like severely. I mean, I understand he did many good things,
Yeah.
but what about the bad things that he did? I
Right.
mean, does
So-
that not like instantly cancel all that out?
Well, that's what I was saying about if Biden has the most progressive platform,
This
it
is me
said,
looking at
and it
Izzy right
wasn't,
now.
and it's not that great. That means we had some really crappy process before. So it's like,
do we automatically cancel Biden for all the deportation that he's doing?
yeah, it's
He gets negative points for that for sure.
My thing is,
that's your logic.
Listen, it's like this. Let me tell you this. I'm the best basketball player of all of us.
No.
I still suck.
Yeah, this is the talk kid in kindergarten.
And then,
yo, my thing is, you get credit for what you get past. That's it. You could say all the things you want. We could have Bernie for 8 years, and he could have talked about Medicare for all. He could talk about all the different changes. If he didn't get any of that passed, then I couldn't say that Bernie Sanders.
If Bernie Sanders is in office, but we have a fully Republican-controlled Congress, you're gonna tell me that Bernie Sanders would not be the most progressive president in history?
He would not.
Case, you're bugging.
No, he would not.
Are you done? Are you done, Izzy? Because
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done because you guys are bugging. I'm done.
All right, hold on. Let me. Can I do a rapid fire?
In the panel of 6 people, 5 are saying one thing, and the other one is saying.
Bedon hasn't said anything, so
Bedon is pained.
Bedon's like, who's FDR?
That's that bridge, right?
Yeah, I drove with the FDR before.
I got a flat tire at the FDR. Funny story.
All right, let's go in the chat, guys.
We have
Holly
to let
Horn,
Gabe
and
wants to
PJ
speak.
Neat, what you guys think? But Gabe, you sound like you was going to say something. Were you going to say something?
All I was going to say was Izzy is hitting the legal marijuana in New York, because that is a crazy thing to say. You could give FDR all of the criticism in the world for even Japanese internment, terrible, horrible policy, and hindsight, he wasn't killing these Japanese people. He wasn't dropping drones and nukes, and he didn't kill innocent people in retaliation with the drone bomb. You know, that's something that Joe Biden actually.
You don't think if he had drones, he wouldn't have done that?
I'm not here to speculate of what could or would have should have. I could speculate on what actually passed. So I'm not going to compare Joe Biden's imaginary policy that is not going to get passed of this infrastructure. It's dead. The 3.5 is dead, and that was my concern a month ago. Was I wanted to be cautiously optimistic, and I felt that hope in my heart, and I'm like, you know what? It's looking good. They stood up. The progressives stopped it, and my hope and whatever has gone down the drain. Compare that to FDR. Social Security, the minimum wage. If we started talking about policies that never passed, FDR would still be, because FDR was talking about all these policies that never passed. That would have been great. Yeah. So
he was coming up with the new Bill of Rights, right? Remember
he said that again.
Housing is a human right was one of them, and it's a whole like 10 list of 10 things.
No company that pays less than a living wage should be allowed to exist in this country. You know, like come on.
You could tell Izzy's lacking sleep when he's agreeing with Richie Torres.
Oh, let's bring.
I am not agreeing with Richie Torres. How dare you insult me? How dare you insult me and put me in that same boat?
No, don't insult my man Izzy, please. But I want to get Imani's opinion on this. So our PJ Imani, welcome her in the building.
Wow, new space, we're in a new place now. It's not good anymore.
You're trying something different.
2021.
So we're gonna put you straight in the hot fire, Imani. Imani, we're putting you straight in the fire. As soon as you come on, we were debating. We had a unintended no calzone session, and we was talking about it was a clip that went viral recently on Case Study QB, which had the video of Richie Torres saying that Joe Biden is the most progressive president in the history of America. Right? That's what he said. And then we were having, it was like 5 against 1. Izzy's the one saying that Joe Biden is, and correct me if I'm wrong, please correct me, Izzy, if I'm wrong, but you're saying Joe Biden is the most progressive president. Am I right?
Policy-wise, I do believe so, because he also hasn't done the horrific things that previous progressive presidents have done.
So, and he also discounted FDR because as soon as he did do the Japanese internment, which is true, that's where he got disqualified as the most progressive. I think, okay, I'm not going to lead the witness. I'm going to let you jump in on that. What you think?
Yeah, I would say policy-wise, that's correct.
Okay.
But like I think that speaks more to kind of where we are as a country, right? But than it does to like anything else or any individual. It just shows that like, yeah, we should probably be having people who are pushing the bar a lot more in that seat, and we just haven't had it.
Okay, so the other side of the argument was, I was saying, I'll speak for myself. I was saying you don't get points for having a great policy. So my example was, if we had Bernie Sanders for 8 years and we know he wants Medicare for all, he wants all the different things that he wants. If he had a Republican Congress for all 8 years, didn't get anything of his initiatives passed, I couldn't give him credit as the most progressive president because he didn't get those things passed. So that's the.
I'm saying these guys are bugging.
What you think, Imani?
No, I mean, I would think that the president is still progressive just because they're being blocked. I mean, that doesn't make someone not progressive. That would be like saying Bernie Sanders wasn't a progressive presidential candidate because he was blocked from being elected, right? Just as someone being blocked doesn't make them personally not progressive.
Imani has spoken.
Okay.
Imani has
most
spoken.
Progressive president in the history of the United States.
Yeah, I don't think Biden has anything like Social Security on his platform, though.
Chelsea is year one.
But it's also, you also have to dig into a lot of those programs too, where there were a lot of carve outs, like for people of color, and like there was a lot going on there too. Like even when
I mentioned that earlier. So what I was saying was that he's the most progressive. He has the most progressive platform, but he's not the most progressive president yet. But it's it's the part about what has he done versus
that's a happy compromise. That's a happy compromise where I think on policy passed, it may not be there yet, but of policy proposed, let's give the benefit of the doubt and hope the Biden admin can get this reconciliation package through.
Okay. And we all agree that being the most progressive president in history, regardless of who it is nowhere close to where we want to be. We all agree on that. Like,
yes.
So Joe Biden is nowhere close to being as progressive as we need him to be.
Yeah. So let me just throw this in. This was I'm gonna throw one tweet in, and then we'll keep it moving from the beef going on between Breonna Joy Gray and Richie Torres. And he put after her original tweet, because she had a sarcastic, funny tweet. He put, in your view, Biden is not progressive for failing to abolish child poverty overnight amid overwhelming obstructionism from the filibuster, the Republican Party, and conservative Democrats with veto power. The obstructionists, not Biden, should be blamed for the obstruction. Then she responded, you've introduced a straw man to obscure the extent to which you're begging for platitudes from progressives on Twitter for doing your job. My job is to push you to do better. Your job is to log off and fight for what majorities of Americans want, even if corporate donors disagree. I thought that was interesting.
First of all, 10 points for plaudits. I don't think I've ever seen that word before. So plaudits.
Is that a word?
Is that maybe it's like credit? You want plaudits? You want credit? Let's see.
Yeah. But that's basically. Wow. I think her point is that we are here to push our Congress people, our president, and that's our job. So I do get disappointed when people who have power, and I hope that Imani one day will be in that position, but they like kind of poo-poo the rest of us for pushing them. And like, you got to understand that that's our job. And I'm sure Imani understands that as a organizer and as a activist yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are people who are pushers who are good at it, like people who are actually organizers, and then there are people who like do it for clout. I mean, there's a lot of people that just push for clout, or a lot of people who hear other people that push for clout, but like take their word for as truth, and then they go and like say, "Oh no, I'm just pushing on you," and it's just like, well, you're not, because you're not fully informed. A real organizer is informed. Like, they can tell you everything about a subject in and out, and they know exactly what pressure points to hit, so that there's actually an end goal of winning, and it's not just an end goal of like views or clout or whatever. So, I mean, I think there are people who really do know how to push in real ways that get real results. And then there's just like the clout chasers.
So you burping in Bendone. You burping it like
I thought I was
into the mic.
Yo, I'm looking this way too.
Yo, I'm about to like take you away from the whole show.
Right, so
Where's the respect?
we'd like to thank Bedon for joining us. Thank you.
All right, start
Amani,
the
don't
show.
take the
Start the
disrespect
music.
from him like that.
I'm sorry.
Amani,
I'm here trying to set up my music player,
Amani,
so I'm
on
ready for
behalf-
8 p.m.
On behalf of him, we all apologize to
We
you.
apologize to our future Congresswoman. But we about to start the show. You got the music ready? You got the ready?
Yeah. It's good. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Start it up.
This guy.
Imani, this is like our
Episode
80th
58.
episode.
Technical difficulties.
Just thinking, I was like, I wonder if the music is still playing. Remember last time I was on, I think that the
Always
music played
playing.
like 50 times. Do you remember that?
Oh man.
What's up, everybody? This is Case Study QB, and we are the political junkies back at it again. And one day we're gonna get that music intro right. That's my fault because I didn't update the intro. I gotta put no music behind it. So
Amani, you're gonna come
I
back
feel
2
like
years.
you'll get it right when I'm not here. I feel like the music is fine when I'm not.
Nah,
waiting
it's
for-
bad then too.
we're
You're
waiting
gonna
for
come
Imani
back
to
in
get.
2 years, and the
Yeah.
music is still gonna be playing.
Listen, we haven't had an episode where at least something has to go wrong. Something has to go wrong every time.
Congresswoman Imani Oakley will come back on the show, and something will still go wrong on the show. But anyway,
The Pop the Trump production, man. That's how we
what's
do.
going on, everybody? Starting the show. Let me go around the horn. We got our guests. Let me be a gentleman and go to our guest first, Imani Oakley. So we're gonna spend the first, 10 minutes of show, and we want to get a Oakley update on the campaign. We got some exciting news going on, and I'm so looking for. I'm not even going to go to the guys. We're going to go straight to you, Imani. What's going on with the campaign?
Hey everybody, for those of you who are just tuning in and have never seen me before, my name is Imani Oakley. I'm running for Congress in New Jersey's 10th Congressional District. And you know what? So far, so good. Our first fundraising quarter ever, we outraised my opponent 2-1. No corporate PAC money, no lobbyist money, no developer money. Straight individuals gave us enough money to outraise our opponent 2-1, which was like, it was a real big deal. We were actually trying to keep it that, like, if it came out on a Friday, it went public because you have to report your numbers. It came out on a Friday, and the internet got it before we were able to put out our stuff on it. So it was like a cool little buzz happening, and then we announced the big announcement Monday. And man, I'm feeling good about it because it shows that you can really do this without the corporate PAC money. Because my opponent was getting a bunch of money from corporate PACs. Taken thousands of dollars from Amazon. He's taken thousands of dollars from the Realtor PAC trying to stop the eviction moratorium, taking money from ExxonMobil, Merck, several oil pipeline PACs, and we still outraised him 2-1. So it shows that like this really can be done. It really can be done on small dollar donors. And now we are in the next phase because you can't just do something like that once. You got to keep doing it. We got to keep outpacing him. And so, with that, I'll do a short little plug. Please go to our website, Oakley for Congress. That's Oakley, FOR, Congress.com. Please drop us a donation. 25, 50, 75, 100, whatever you got. If you can max out, please do that because we have to do it again. We have to keep making sure that we're ahead of our opponents. But so far, so good. I'm not sure which endorsements I've had since being on here last, but I've been endorsed by Brand New Congress so far.
Yeah.
Fire, West Orange Young Dems, 2 deputy mayors, and a Black Lives Matter activist named Sally Imani. And now we are actually in the midst of a redistricting fight. So for those who don't know, New Jersey should have the same number of districts, but it's basically going to be cut in different ways. And what's the whispers is that they are supposed to cut my district in a way that cuts me out and saves my opponent, and then gives extra padding to Mikey Sherrill in the more conservative NJ11 district, which is completely ridiculous. My neighborhood is a historically Black neighborhood and really has nothing in common with those areas in NJ11. And they would actually end up being a voting minority in that area, meaning that a lot of their interests would not be met if they were to be redistricted into Mikey Sherrill's district in NJ11. So, it's machine games all over again. They're doing it to cut me out and punish me for being a progressive and doing so well, while also protecting somebody who they do like, which is Mikey Sherrill. And it's unfair. And it's bad. It's not good. So we're in the midst of fighting that fight as well.
So when is that going to be finalized? That the districts.
So historically, what happens, because for those who don't know about New Jersey has some of the most corrupt politics in the nation. And what has happened in the past with redistricting was they wait until like almost the last minute, almost until, you have to go around and collect signatures and then file to be on the ballot. They wait really close to then, typically, to make a decision. So essentially, anybody who's running without the party's backing doesn't know what's going to happen, and they might collect signatures from a whole bunch of wrong places that are no longer in their district. Then they got to scramble to go get the right signatures to even be on the ballot. So historically, it's been like around March time that they go public with it, and that's of course to screw over the candidates that they aren't backing. But we are prepared. We're prepared for any situation that happens, because I can still run in the 10th if they do end up cutting me out. But we are going to fight that tooth and nail, because again, it's not only about me and the machine cutting me out. It's also about the fact that there are going to be a bunch of Black folks whose votes and voices are no longer going to matter, because they are going to be the voting minority in the district, simply to pad another establishment Democrat. That's simply how it goes. So, there are bigger things than even my race at play here.
Wow, that's terrible. I have this queued up. I don't know if you want me to play this. You want me to play this, or did you discuss it enough? It's up to you.
Yeah, if you want to play a clip of it. I testified the other day at the first redistricting hearing, which again, to show you just how much they actually want the public to participate in this. The website to sign up hadn't been updated since 2011, 3 days before the meeting. And people had to make a bunch of noise about it in order for them to even fix it, so the general public could go and sign up and talk about how they want, the redistricting committee to consider different things. So just off the bat, it shows you how much they actually want regular community people to be involved in this. But we were able to, register and talk at that redistricting meeting. And so this is a clip of some of what I said, because I think it's really important for people to understand why we're fighting this tooth and nail.
All right, I'm gonna play it right now.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. My name is Imani Oakley, and I have lived in Montclair as a Black woman, not family member of a Black woman, not the neighbor of a Black woman, but as physically a Black woman my entire life in the historically Black section of Montclair. And I'm also currently running for Congress in New Jersey's 10th congressional district. It's no secret that many expect this commission to redraw the lines of New Jersey's 10th and 11th congressional district to benefit Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, the vulnerable Democratic incumbent in NJ 11. Many expect my neighborhood, again, a historically Black neighborhood that's still majority Black, in Montclair to be redistricted into NJ 11. I'm here today to speak to you about why this is wrong. Our community challenges with healthcare costs, with gentrification and affordable housing, with New Jersey's long history of environmental racism, are far different than those issues that present themselves in Mendham, Chatham, or many of the other predominantly white suburbs that make up NJ 11. We are not political pawns to be moved around on a map. We are people who deserve representation. As a resident of Montclair, and again, a Black resident of Montclair, running for Congress in New Jersey's 10th district, it's not lost on me that redistricting my neighborhood into NJ 11 would also benefit New Jersey's political machine and benefit the current incumbent, Congressman Donald Payne, a product of the machine. Redistricting should prioritize democracy and representation. Redistricting should not pit the interest of a Black woman running for Congress against those of a white woman running for Congress in the district next door. Redistricting should not be a tool to cut out progressive Black women who are independent of big donors, who are independent of party bosses. And I'm here today to urge this commission to keep my neighborhood in New Jersey's 10th congressional district, whose communities are far more similar to ours than the wealthy white suburbs of NJ 11.
All right, there we go. Imani Oakley, everybody. Yes. All right. Thanks for coming on the show.
Question.
Go ahead.
Have you seen a boost in fundraising after that news came out about the fundraising numbers? Did you get kind of like a snowball effect?
Not a boost in fundraising, but definitely a boost in different media outlets,
Nice.
like larger media outlets wanting to speak with us. So that's good. I feel great about that. That we are starting to get attention. We've been also calling people from outside of New Jersey who are starting to hear about the race, which is also really exciting. So we are building momentum. We got to get past this next fundraising quarter and make sure that we are fundraising what we need. So again, please go to our website. Please go to our social media at Imani Oakley NJ10 on all social media. You'll see in the bio section our Act Blue link to donate. Please donate what you can, because again, we can't just do it once. We can't just outrace them once. We got to keep doing it over and over and over. And we got to beat this redistricting fight, because not only is me getting cut out of the district a possibility, but also there is an entire voting block of Black voters whose voices will now become a minority in NJ11 if they're put in there. And I know we probably got to go to the next thing, but I do just want to put this out there to show you like how ridiculous this is. One of the arguments that was made was that if there are more Black voices in NJ11, maybe Mikey Sherrill will actually listen to Black voices more, which is an incredible thing to say to me, because I don't understand why there would ever need to be a quota of Black voices in order for you to listen to Black people about Black issues. I mean, that's shocking to me that somebody would actually say that out loud, but this is the type of stuff we're dealing with. This is the frame of mind that we're dealing with. So we're fighting this fight. Please donate to us. Please support us any way that you can. If you are in New Jersey and you want to testify at one of these commissions to help us out, please do. And thank you all so much for having me.
Yeah, definitely. We got Rafael Rodriguez in the chat that he said he's in Union County, New Jersey. So,
nice.
Raf, we have our progressive New Jersey and right here that we got to support. So let's definitely support. I have one question before I let you go.
Yeah.
The volunteer, first of all, Imani, everybody in the chat probably knows, is the very first People's Gauntlet contender, very first person to do the videos. So I'm so happy that she was able to start that initiative with me. And the next step of the initiative, I'm revealing it here. I wanted to tease it in Twitter, but I didn't get a chance to. But the next step, we just launched a new site today, and it has, we showed it last week, I believe. Each candidate has their own website or page where it shows all the gauntlets and shows all the topics separated in a very neatly organized way. And now the next big step of the site is going to be allowing our contenders to allow their volunteers to sign up for the site. And then they're going to be able to get PG points according to what volunteer actions that they do. So for example, there's canvassing, there's knocking on doors, there's calling on the phone and talking to people. And for each of those actions, volunteers would be able to put in and get points, and then they'll be able to cash in on those points. They'll be able to use it to vote for our challengers or our champions. And there's a lot more details coming down. We're going to still ironing down exactly what it's going to be, but that's the next step. And I want to ask you, so how many volunteers do you have? I'm just curious.
About 150 is in our database right now. So I think that's what my organizers, because what I do is I call folks, and then during call time, if they're like, yeah, I want to, volunteer for you, how do I do that? I tell them, go to the website. There's a volunteer button at the top navigation bar. You can click that, fill that out, and you become, you can get on our database to be a volunteer. But then I leave it from there and leave it in the hands of my volunteer coordinators to then go from there. But I believe the last number they gave was 150.
Awesome. Wow.
But again, that's 150 signups. We definitely need folks to make sure that, if you hear from our volunteer coordinator, if you get an email or a phone call, please try to come out to whatever you can. Because just because you have 150 in the database, right, it doesn't necessarily translate to those who show up to the phone bank or those who show up to the canvassing. So right now we're averaging about like 10 people per phone bank and different things like that. But we obviously got to get out a lot more. So, please definitely sign up to volunteer. Same place, oakleyforcongress.com. At the top navigation bar, there'll be an option to volunteer. Click that, sign up, and you'll be in our database. And then you'll hear from our volunteer coordinator.
Awesome. So when we get off of the show at some point, I'm gonna ask you for your volunteer coordinator, because that's the person probably I want to talk with. And with your permission, I'll talk to you about my overall idea, of course. But hopefully the vision is that through the website, for every, you have those 10 people who are volunteering doing phone banking. When they do it, they'll get like 100 points or just throwing out examples. And the goal is hopefully, they'll see each other and they say, oh, you got 300 points this week. I'm going to try to beat you. I'm going to try to get 400 points this week. And hopefully the goal is to kind of motivate and get volunteers to have a friendly competition and to get those 10 people and turn it into 20 people. And the idea is, I think you'll like it when we talk about it, but big things to come. Imani Oakley, let's clap it up for her. Imani Oakley, PJ, Imani, thank you for coming on the show. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next news. The next time you come, you're going to give us another update of another big endorsement or the People's Gauntlet doing big things. So I'm looking forward to the next time having you on. And I know you're busy. You got a lot. You probably got an early morning start. I know you're busy with the campaign. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Y'all have a good one.
Have a great one.
Thanks, Imani.
Bye-bye. Yeah, man. This is one of the great parts of whose phone is that? Whose phone is that? Doorbell. Who's the doorbell? Who ring? That's somebody's ring. Damn. Supporting Amazon. Somebody should get banned. Anyway,
hey, I got them before they got bought by Amazon.
Oh, okay, I'll give you a pass on that one if that's the case. But this is one of the benefits of doing the show. You get to meet really cool people, especially hanging out with my guys and hanging out with my people in the chat. PJ Neat, PJ Raphael, and all for nothing 388, all the people in the chat. Holly Horn. This is a very fun time, and I'm looking forward to being able to say Congresswoman Imani Oakley. Yo, John, are you still going to volunteer? I remember you said that a while back. You said he's going to volunteer. Yeah, I didn't want to put you on the spot with her here.
You could have put me on the spot.
It's not like this is recorded or anything. Like
it's recorded, it's public. But the thing is, like, I don't know what the process is for somebody that's out of state. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's out of state or like
driving.
So
yeah,
no, do I just go inside? I meant to ask her, but I didn't want to like just step it in. But like just sign up in the chat and the website. But yeah, I've said it publicly. I said again, like if she needs me, I go and knock on doors on the weekend. I drive up. Yeah. Like I do what I gotta do, but I don't. I mean, I don't.
That would be cool if we'll organize it. Whatever when it starts getting the height of the campaign. Usually, like towards the end, like I saw that with AOC. Where like towards the end, like even other candidates was coming, like maybe 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, and even other candidates from other states were coming and helping her knock on doors and stuff. It would be cool if you come by. Izzy's in New York.
You, Izzy, myself, and Bendon could do it.
I don't know if Bendon, you gonna come down from Connecticut? You gonna come down? It's the same place. But yeah,
this big Bendon right here.
And we can record it and put it up on the show. That would be cool if we could do something like that. All right.
That would be a good idea.
Let's get the show started. Let's go around the horn. John, how you doing, my man?
Good. Can't complain.
Everybody's good. All right. Let's go. Carlito, how you doing?
I am missing the Hawks game for this. Just saying. Appreciate.
Love. Izzy.
John, you sure you're good?
Yeah, I'm great. Like,
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I know
people think they had a great season. They eliminated the Yankees. They went to the LLC. I'm good. They exceeded expectations.
All right. Bendon, don't say anything because your dog is gonna start barking. Gabe, what's up, my man?
I just wanted to congratulate the Yankees on winning the 2009 World Series championship.
What was your prediction for this one?
I thought it was gonna be the year, but it's not the year. So shout out to the Lakers for getting their first. The Lakers got their first win of the season. They were 0-2, and then 0-6 in the preseason. So it was good to get a win for once, and it was a nail biter. Right, sorry, I missed you guys last week. It was bananas. It was a crazy personal week.
Okay, I don't want you to tell all your business, but we love you, man, and we're glad to have you back on the show. We definitely missed you
We out
on the
here.
show. So I'm gonna play a quick clip, and then we're gonna go to Carlito's rundown. So Carlito, get ready, and here, listen to this one, guys.
We'll get to that in a second, but just as a side issue, because there are a lot of people who are very eager for the bipartisan infrastructure bill to come up and be voted on as well. And progressives have said they're not going to vote for that until there's at least a deal on the larger social safety net bill. You said the House must pass the bipartisan infrastructure plan by October 31st, which is a week from today. Moderates are frustrated. 2 deadlines have been missed because of the progressives. Are you going to meet that goal?
No, wait a minute. There was no deadline that was missed because of the progressives.
Okay.
Deadline was missed because they changed from 3.5 to 1/2 that, and we've had to go in and it's lamb eat lamb. Everything is good in the bill. What do you cut?
Okay.
So in terms of this date is fraught with meaning because on October 31st is the day that the Highway Trust Fund authorization expires.
Right.
And if that expires, we have to get billions of dollars someplace to continue that. The best way to do that is to pass the BIF. Having nothing.
All right, I'll stop it there. But yo, when Jake Tapper has to get corrected by Nancy Pelosi, like
that shocked the hell out of me. She said,
right?
Wait, she said, hold up one second. The progressives are my friends. And I was like, what? What am I watching here? Is this Halloween?
Yeah, I had to play that.
She needs them to agree to that 1.5.
Yeah, that little crumbs. She needs them to agree to crumbs, right?
Nancy Pelosi is the most progressive Speaker of the House in the history of the U.S.
Who said that?
Case study, QB.
Richie Torres, a.k.a. Izzy.
All right.
I mean, you know, Case wants her for a Speaker of the House for 2 more years. So
Nancy Pelosi's campaign is gonna clip our video. But Nancy Pelosi is the most.
Oh no! Cut it, Case. Cut it.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's go to the chat, and then we're gonna go to Carlito's rapid.
People just talking about iPod shuffles and zooms on the chat. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, we're gonna have a raffle. We're gonna raffle a Bedon Zoom to volunteer for Imani.
Okay, not much going on. All right, Carlito, let's go to the rundown.
You say, man, it's not a raffle is not good enough for you, man. People nowadays.
I'm gonna get a shirt that says my name with the font, so that I don't have to worry about this.
I know, right? All right, let's go. First story. Joe Crowley is lobbying against Biden's tax hikes on the rich by Sarah Sirota at The Intercept. That's like a duh. Okay. Joe Crowley, the former chair of the House Democratic Caucus, who famously lost his 2018 primary to progressive challenger Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is now lobbying for one of Wall Street's most powerful advocacy groups against his party's tax hikes of multinational corporations. Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association, or SIFMA, includes members like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Amazon, and IBM. They hired Crowley and other lobbyists at law firm Squire Patton Boggs, including a former intern for Joe Manchin. Interesting. So how can Crowley help these greedy corporations that don't want Americans to have expanded Medicare or universal pre-K? Here's one example. On September 24th, Texas Democratic Representatives Vicente Gonzalez, Henry Cuellar, and Filemon Vela sent House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer a letter criticizing the proposed tax increases on corporations' foreign profits that Crowley is now targeting for SIFMA. Crowley's former leadership PAC donated to all 3 congressmen's campaigns over his time in Congress. So I say this all the time, but Izzy, what is the difference between companies getting together in a union to get what they want, yet regular employees are fought against so hard when they try to do the same thing?
Yeah, for real. I mean, this is insanity. I was dying laughing when Alan said Crowley has a does it for the man face. I think he meant does it for the money face, but either one really works well because he really does work for the man as well. No, but listen, when as we were talking about before, when Joe Biden is to the left of you, it makes him look way more progressive than he really should be. The fact that this guy Crowley is lobbying against something that Joe Biden is to the left of him on is really crazy. The fact that he represented me in Congress at one point is really crazy. I kind of roll my eyes sometimes when Gabe does the bold blue no matter who, but he's right. I mean, like at this point, the fact that we elected this guy for so long is insane. We can't just trust people just because they're blue. This guy is a strict Republican. It's funny because this increase that's being proposed now to tax the rich, higher, is something that he was for back when he was in Congress. Because when the Republicans lowered the TCJA amount, to 10% on the tax amount, he was the one saying that he was calling it a tax scam that benefited the largest, wealthiest multinational corporations in the history of the world. But now he's out there basically just lobbying for them. So,
and let's not forget, this is who the Democrats had as Nancy Pelosi's successor to be the next speaker.
Exactly.
And now, who's the next person is Hakeem Jeffries, apparently. So, yeah, it's crazy.
The Black Joe Crowley.
Pretty much. They were good friends. That's how he got him in that position, pretty much. Yep.
Yo, we having troubles. CMTs having trouble giving us super chats right now. Again.
They don't want to give us no money.
They're monetizing.
Crowley, the man.
Yo, Crowley is you just mentioned his name, and all of a sudden we can't get paid.
Damn, that's power right there.
All right, let's go to the next story.
Oh, real quick. So all for nothing, 388 said we need a Jayapal for speaker, and I did hear that on mainstream media. Somebody was like, Jayapal could be the next speaker. So what you guys think?
I mean, she's not super progressive, but she's way better than Pelosi.
Yeah.
I mean, considering our other options.
Yeah, she's the most progressive speaker of the House.
I mean, if the option is her and Jeffries, totally her.
Yeah, I would take her, even though she's going to be putting herself in danger of having to capitulate to, the moderates at times, and because that's what the speaker does, right? But hopefully she's able to bully them. That's what I would be hoping she will be able to do. That's what Pelosi tried to do that with, Josh Gottheimer and some of those people, and they still was able to resist her to a certain extent. So somebody like Pramila Jayapal, who I don't expect her to be a big fundraising behemoth like Nancy Pelosi, is going to be interesting to see what carrots and sticks she would, execute as Speaker of the House.
We need Imani for Speaker.
She's going to lose a lot of points by taking that 1.5.
Yeah, actually, that 1.5. And you know what? Nancy was also ready to she wanted to kind of vote on the bipartisan bill first too. After a while, she was ready to do that. So she's definitely not progressive. But anyway, go ahead, Carlito.
So Neat said he's all in for Adam Schiff, and Gabe is all in for speaker with Imani.
Yeah,
Imani for speaker.
Imani for speaker. I'll take that one because anybody could be speaker though. Like Cornel West could be Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
that's actually.
Did you talk about I think I read somewhere. Did I read somewhere they were talking about Trump for Speaker of the House if the Republican Party wins the House?
Yeah, they were trying to say that so then he could, move up. He could be like next after the VP.
Yeah, we're talking about that. That's I forgot. They were saying that if the Republicans get the House in 2022, they were going to make Trump. They should make Trump or something like that. I forgot what I read. The Speaker of the House.
He's not going to do it because he's going to have to do some work if he's a speaker and show up.
But how crazy would that be, though?
That would be crazy. That would be a clown show. Oh my God.
But at this rate, we have to worry more about Trump coming back as president in 2024 because if this doesn't pass, it's basically it's a complete. It shows the Democrats cannot get stuff done. We were promised keep waiting, the minimum wage, keep waiting, climate, keep waiting. The world's gonna be on fire, even though it is already in some places, and they're gonna be like, just wait a little bit longer for the climate change. They're gonna be like, why are you being so progressive? Come on, you gotta compromise while your house is burning and your neighborhood is burning.
Trump is gonna introduce Biden at the State of the Union. That would be hilarious. My God. I was just watching just for that.
I mean, he's good. He's not as good as me, that's what we got.
He'll be like, everybody, Sleepy Joe.
All right, next story. A Florida man applied for 60 entry-level jobs in a month to prove the so-called labor shortage is a myth, by Alex Galbraith at OrlandoWeekly.com. and I love the story just so much. So we all see pundits and CEOs and business owners complaining about labor shortages on TV and that people are lazy and don't want to work. Then even blame the inadequate unemployment help that ended in June for not finding workers in July or August or October or September. But anyway, this one Florida man wanted to find out if all these openings really exist or they were just talking points by greedy liars. Joey Holtz said he was inspired to apply for 2 entry-level jobs a day the entire month of September and document his results. Holtz, who has experience in food service and retail, specifically targeted restaurants whose owners have been pretty vocal about the staff shortages and a supposed laziness among the workforce. The results after a month of searching, only one interview. And in that interview, they tried to walk back the $10 an hour wage that they advertised. So Holtz said, "Are they desperate for help? Yes, according to their loud lamentations on Facebook. But so far, one interview where the advertised hours and pay were misrepresented after 50 applications say, y'all aren't desperate for workers. You just miss your slaves." So I don't know. I feel a little bad for these lying business owners. Should we bring back slavery for them, Bedon?
Time to leave your jobs. No.
Okay.
That's all you got? That's all you got?
Wow. Well, I don't understand the whole slavery thing. But it's interesting to see because you hear that even here in Connecticut that a lot of companies are asking for people to apply, and yet you have associates that are applying, but they're like, yo, they're not giving me much. It's still the same thing. Like, I might as well just continue to do what I'm doing. I'm surviving off the general unemployment. I'm not gonna go back.
But that's over. That was over months ago, and they're still complaining. So that's not it.
They don't like business.
They don't like saying that they're going to get paid $10 an hour, but then they don't.
Or have to work, 10 months before you get a full-time offer because you're on probation.
Exactly.
Gabe had to go off camera.
Yeah. I never seen John so red in my life.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Yo, with your forehead, you really look like a potato, like a tomato.
It's just the thing that this guy be coming up with.
First of all, he's like falling out of the camera shot. Like, what are you doing, yo? What's going on, yo?
Told you I
got
this is slimming.
Oh my
so
God.
I do this for the angle.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Alan said Bedon is a simple man. Chris is she wants to cut Miami off of Florida after this week. She's a floater as far as she's concerned. Oh, no, she is a floater. Yeah, well, Florida. I mean, they good for making stupid headlines, man. I tell you that much.
Did you see the headline with DeSantis and trying to hire all the police officers?
Man, I wish that worked. I want that to work so bad. That way, all the crappy cops would leave where I'm at.
That's feeding the base. They get it. The Republicans, they feed their base. Democrats, they say F you to the base. So
but that feeding is. I mean, they stoke the base. They don't really feed it.
The article showed more of the guy's point of view, but it didn't have any interviews from business owners.
Yeah, I mean, because they won't say nothing.
Yeah,
they didn't call him back. they said that they desperate for people to work, and they didn't call him back. He got one interview out of 60.
And then he got offered it was like a part-time job that, like I said, he had to work 20 hours for 10 months, and then they would consider possibly giving him the full-time.
Yeah, man, it's crap.
Crazy.
All right.
I wanted to share a story real quick. Something that I saw. Actually, my wife saw. We were looking on LinkedIn, and there's a new Chick-fil-A. I know Chick-fil-A boo, but the local Chick-fil-A franchise that just opened up, they were advertising the 3-day work week. And the way they were saying was that they were giving everyone or full-time employees 3 12-hour days to get them to full-time hours. And even though it only has up to 36, they were still giving them the full-time hours and the benefits. I think it was like 17 or 18 bucks an hour. And they were really like leaning into it, like work-life balance. We understand that our people want to, especially in this time, want to enjoy life and this. So it was like Chick-fil-A, Kendall, the home of the 3-day work week. So it was pretty cool.
I mean, Chick-fil-A, they got the employees seem to be happy. They got good service, but the money that they make, they use it for really, really nasty things. So it's tough.
We just they gotta show some love to our LGBT brothers, sisters, and thems, you know.
Yeah. All right. Next story. 4 major plot holes in the organized crime rings are closing. Wait, it's the organized crime rings are closing Walgreens narrative by Adam Johnson of Substack. So this is a story of the disproportionate coverage we often see in the media of otherwise minuscule stories that elicit strong emotions in people, combined with the media allowing itself to be manipulated by corporations. So Stephen Kenner documented at Fair in July a single viral video of shoplifting at San Francisco Walgreens solicited over 300 articles nationwide, not including write-ups in South Africa, Mexico, UK, and South Korea. All major networks, newspapers, and of course, right-wing news spread this propaganda of a shoplifting epidemic as the reason for Walgreens closing stores. There were some plot holes to these stories, you can imagine. First, Walgreens closed more stores in New York City with no documented shoplifting epidemic than in San Francisco in 2020, while CVS closed none in 2020 and 21. Since 2017, Walgreens SEC filings repeatedly mentioned a store optimization program involving the closure of hundreds of stores. Why is this almost never mentioned? Can something other than shoplifting be to blame? Walgreens won't say. When reporter Eric Ting from SF Gate asked this question, Walgreens stopped returning emails. And finally, Walgreens, Target, and CVS fund and work closely with lobbying groups like the California Retail Association and California Chamber of Commerce, which have spent millions trying to repeal Prop 47 and recall the progressive DA. So Prop 47 is the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act. And one of the things it did is reclassify certain theft and drug possession offenses from felonies to misdemeanors and made it retroactive. Now, John, does this explain why this video generated 474,183% more coverage than the one mainstream media article about Walgreens admitting it stole $4.5 million from its employees over several years?
Yeah, you know what it is always, right? If it's echo. It always comes. Whoa, what's going on? You guys hear that echo?
Yeah,
No.
Everybody has headphones on, right?
So I don't know what's going on with I'm hearing that.
Wait, I don't hear it anymore. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So what I was trying to say is, like, obviously there's a black, brown kids involved. They want to find an excuse to anything that they could do, right? If you look at the SEC reporting, and I went back and looked at it, if there was like 5 or 6 stores in Walgreens, if they were losing $1,000 a day, like they said, I think there was a tweet about this as well. It says, they will only lose like $0.9 million, $9 million. But in the SEC filing, they said that they want to close over 400 stores because they want to save over $4 billion. So at the end of the day, the real reason why they're doing it is just for the shareholders. And I think, I don't know how this tied to, I know we talked about this in previous show, where the big box stores go in and get stuck with all those, closing, and the city and stuff get stuck with it. So all these cities are going in, they give all this company to come in, right? They give all these tax breaks. And then now they're just finding whatever reason they could find to close it and leave. And then the taxpayer gets stuck. Well, all that was with that store being empty. So basically false. They doing everything. They lying. They don't want to admit the real reason why they're closing all those stores. And they want to find something, scapegoat, and they say shoplifting by minorities.
Yeah, this is crazy. So
yeah, I see that story on Fox News all the time when I'm clipping up clips and looking at mainstream media. I see this story that people are running into Walgreens and just stealing a whole bunch of clothes, and it's organized. Even I think Morning Joe had that also.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's like they want to push this narrative, but I saw that assuming that the man in the video, they stole the for there to be a misdemeanor, the maximum allowed that they could steal is $949, right? That would mean that Walgreens, the wage that they stole is 474,183% more than that. So they stole millions and millions from their own employees via wage theft, and yet somebody stealing less than $1,000 has all this coverage all over the place, and that's simply because it's the whole tough on crime thing. You know, they working to repeal this law because they want to put more people in jail, more black and brown people in jail specifically, and they're using this as an excuse to hide the fact that they stole from their employees and overshadow that story.
Yep. I want to make talk about losing money, which they're not losing that much money.
The echo came back. I don't know why. All right, let's go. I wonder if it's on my side. I don't know.
I hear it. That's all good. Keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving. It's all good.
All right. Final story. Black man given longest sentence over Capitol riots, even though he didn't go. By Isabel King at metro.co.uk. So Troy Smocks, a black man from Dallas, was sentenced on Thursday to 14 months in prison for posting threatening social media messages during the riots from his Washington, D.C. hotel room. This man is not innocent. He made social media posts urging Capitol rioters to go hunting for Democrats and tech executives. He should be punished. But Gabe, how is he getting more time than all the male and female Karens who actually went to D.C. and broke into the Capitol and made death threats in public?
That is the most America thing ever. I think we have seen the sentencing disparity over, the last 50, 60, 80 years between black and brown people and white people for the equivalent crimes, whether it is weed, whether it is just anything, harder drugs. You see cocaine, when a white person's charged with cocaine, it's actually 20 times, I think the number is, sentencing disparity between crack, which is the same drug, just ingested in a different way. So to see somebody who, like Alito said, the guy wrote some nasty stuff, and he definitely should, that's not freedom of speech. When you're inciting violence, it's not freedom of speech, and it's not protected speech. But there were people there that physically assaulted officers. There were people that scaled the buildings, destructed property. It's like he did the call to action, and they actually did the action, and there's videotape evidence of them there. And he is the winner or the big loser on this sentencing disparity. So it's terrible. Again, it's hard to feel sorry for somebody who was talking so terribly, but it's disgusting to see, even in a case like this where there's concrete video evidence that that sentencing disparity still exists. It's almost like a parody at this point.
Yeah.
When so Rafael Rodriguez said, "Let's say children, why priv?" You know where it goes next. And Alan said, "Think the man became a Democrat after hearing that sentence. He realized the black plight in that second." It's funny you said that, because he did try to say, like, I'm no Martin Luther King, but this is travesty. Like, he's trying to compare himself a little bit. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. But after I read this story, it reminded me of another story that I read about, of course, Florida. It was this guy. He was a yoga teacher, but he was anti-fascist. He was sentenced to 44 months because of stuff he said online. And what he said was things like, we need to protect yourself or prepare yourself for armed defense against possible far-right attacks. And that's what he said. So they gave him 44 months. And one of the things they accused him of for being an extremist was because we know he is, because he went to Black Lives Matter rallies in the wake of George Floyd murder. So that means he's extremist. Meanwhile, a man in Georgia, his name was Cleveland Meredith Jr., given some shine, with a history of threats and racism online, drove to Washington, D.C. with guns and ammunition and sent private text threatening to shoot Nancy Pelosi in the head, only faces 6 to 2 years in prison, depending on the plea deal. So he could be there 6 months. Well, it's going to be 8 because he has 8 in pretrial detention, but it's going to count as time served. So luckily, the guy didn't make it to D.C. on time. He got there after the riot ended because he had car trouble. But this guy that had all kinds of racist and anti-Semitic, all types of rants online, and drove up to DC with guns, got way less time than somebody that just posted, "Arm yourselves."
Not only got way less time, they also got their diet. They said they were vegan, and then they had their diet like set up for them because they couldn't, or they only eat organic food, so they had to be served only organic type food or something. That's crazy.
Wow. All right. I'm going to show this clip real quick. If you guys have anything else to say, let me know. But I'm going to show this clip, this interesting clip. We're going to talk about it real quick. And then I got a no-cow zone. And then we're going to end the show.
Americans, and in fact, Call of wins by 2.9 points, let's say. This will still be seen as a rebuke of the progressives who have not figured out that they do not speak for the vast majority of Americans. And in fact, most Americans, when they hear them speak, think, oh my, that's not even the language that I'm talking about. You know, David Shore, the former Obama data guru, had incredible stuff and interviews and data that he had this week, just showing again and again why Democrats are losing this when they shouldn't be. So even if McAuliffe wins, still seen as really bad for that left-wing shift.
And Donna, that study has gotten a lot of...
And McAuliffe wins by 2 points.
So did you hear what she said? Like, they're going to blame progressives even if he wins by... it's crazy.
They going. That's the Democratic way. Like, if they win, they
no. She's a Republican. She was in the Trump administration. That's her name.
Yeah.
Sarah,
But I'm just saying, like,
go ahead.
She still say still going to say, like, in 2022, if the Democrats lose the House, they're going to blame the progressive. If they win, they're going to say we don't need the progressive, right? They won 2020. Mm-hmm. They said they did it without the progressive. And the problem is that in Virginia, I'm in Virginia, they gave us basically, again, the lesser of the two evils. They want to say, oh, they gave us a mini Trump and a mini Biden. And they expect you to just be like, oh, vote blue no matter who. So the people that are not going to vote that way, right? This should have been a 15-point advantage. But a mini Trump is within 3 points, 4 points. And they already finding ways to say, oh, you know, it's the progressive people. Yeah. But Democrats, they put all their eggs in one basket. They think, you know, he was a slam dunk, and people don't like the guy. Yeah. So we sitting here again with, what do? You lesser of the two evils, and it is what it is. I do think Youngkin is gonna pull it off, and
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you're on the ground in Virginia, so you would know more than any of us. Like, do you see a lot of? Is it equal in the amount of TV ads, or you know?
Yeah. I don't want much TVs, but it's very equal. And I just think it's like Terry's bad. That dude was, you know, when he was governor, he was like he's all about business. He's, you know, he talks bad about progressive. You look when he was a CNN contributor, the way he came out progressive, right? So now he's like, oh, I need your vote, and you know, he got Obama campaigning for him. Like, he's just not like so. And you know, so a lot of Republicans, and then now people are making, like, he made a fumble, I guess, the other day, because parents said, like, you know, the Republicans' parents are mad because he said that parents should not tell school what the school to teach their kids. Yeah. So everybody's up in their arm and stuff like that. So I don't know. That dude's just bad. Again, like, we literally have a mini race of the presidential race. We have a mini Trump and a mini Biden, and it's like the lesser of the two evil, and they getting ready to blame the left for not coming out.
And you got Joe, what's his name? Obama came out. What's the name from Georgia? The one that ran for governor. Stacey Abrams came out. A whole bunch of people are trying to help support Terry, and I'm sure he's not going to help. I would predict that he's going to lose also. Me personally, I'm pessimistic.
Yeah, I don't care for the guy. So
yeah. All right. So let's go to No Cow Zone real quick. This is the No Cow Zone that I thought of. And should the Dems kick out Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin out of the Democratic Party? So are they good in the Democratic Party, or should we kick them out? What you guys think?
Can you kick them out?
No, they can't kick them out, but they could, like, treat them like as if we don't care about them, because you know, Joe. This kind of came out of the fact that Joe Manchin threatened, there was an article. He said it was BS, but there was an article saying that he might leave the Democratic Party.
Yeah, you couldn't just not campaign for them.
Yeah.
Man, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, Gabe is.
Where you going, Gabe?
I'm telling
No,
you.
he's saying buy it a mansion.
Yep.
Yeah.
He could leave. Good riddance.
See, this is what I would do. And a lot of people, Jordan Sheridan has been out there advocating for this. Other people online have been advocating for this. Like, Joe, not even if it's Joe Biden, but Joe Biden should unleash Bernie and give him his blessings to go to West Virginia, to go to Arizona, and have town halls. I would, if I was Bernie or Joe Biden, I would have a CNN town hall, have all the, I would do it in their biggest stadium. So whatever baseball stadium they have, say, come out and meet the president, or not meet the president personally, but come out to this event, have all your constituents are now in the crowd, and say, hey, do you guys want Medicare for all, for example? Do you want Green New Deal or whatever's in the human infrastructure? Let me think. Do you want free college for 2 years? Do you want free childcare? You just hear the crowd, and then you look at Joe Manchin, and he might not show up, but if he does or not, be like, Joe Manchin, you hear this? That's what I think.
They don't care. They both have 3 more years, is it?
Yeah.
They
don't
they're
care.
not at risk. It's not going to be until they're at risk, and even then, they probably don't care.
His response is always to everything, vote me out. You don't like it, vote me out, because he knows he doesn't have. That's why I think that there's have to be a way that you got to call these senators back. Like they run on something, they promise you. Like Sinema ran on lowering prescription drugs. That's what she ran on. And there was progressive group that backed her up and campaigned and did everything for her. So she basically said, oh, wait, too bad. The big pharma is giving me all the money now. So, whatever to you guys out here. So there's got to be a way that when these senators go back on their words, because we stuck with them for 6 years. Yeah, they go back on their words and they say, you lie to us, then we're going to call you back. And then in that midterm, we're not going to wait till the next one. That midterm, we're going to call you and we're going to primary you. If that happens, then they will be afraid, because what do these people always care about? They always care about their power. That's the one thing that they, no matter, even Manchin always says, vote me out. He will do something the last year that will make people forget, because we know that, Americans, that when it comes to politics, they have short-term memory. And then they were like, oh, Manchin is great, and make him there for another 6 years. That's how we get stuck 35 years with Nancy and Mitch McConnell and Senator Schumer and all that stuff. Like, we need to get all these politicians, all of them out, and start
abolish the Senate.
There you go.
It is the most undemocratic institution in this country.
That might be the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So you weren't about defunding the police, but you're all about abolishing the Senate?
Yes, because defunding the police is a bad slogan, but abolish the Senate.
Abolish the Senate is great.
That's interesting.
The genius of abolish the Senate is who's going to be mad? The little states? They don't have enough people. They're going to be mad.
They might succeed from the union.
So, for nothing, the chat said you can remove committee assignments, right? That takes away a lot of effectiveness, what they did to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, you could remove the assignments. It didn't bother MGT since she was, like Chris said, running around collecting money from lunatic people anyway. But yeah, somebody like Manchin and Sinema, they want those positions because that shows them how powerful they are. And then they get more corporate funding that way. The higher you are.
Do you know the committee that Manchin is part of? He's the climate committee. I think it's climate or something like that. So,
energy or climate, one of those.
Yeah. You guys, I think I sent it in the Discord. There was it was an ad that somebody made, and it was basically going through like, how is a man in this committee when he's, owns a coal company pretty much, and saying, most of the money he's getting paid, like they said, look, a senator gets paid this much, but he's worth this many million.
Oh yeah.
On a senator's salary, well, how? Well, he makes this much from these companies or from the wife that got put in some high position, the son that owns this company, the daughter who became like a CEO after lying that she had an MBA when she didn't, the same one that hiked up the EpiPen prices. So that's a great ad.
Sinema net worth was like $35,000, and she now is worth over $1 million. And what does she teach? What does she teach at ASU? Is how to be like, well, what is the class that she teach? How to
fundraise.
how to fundraise. That's the class that she
Yeah,
teach.
how to fundraise.
Like, so when you talk about like corruption in the public eyes, it's just out there. Like we are used to, like, being from Latin America, we are used to this. We see it. Like, politicians will tell you we're corrupt, like thing, and we kind of live with it. These people try to tell you they're not corrupt. Like, you go literally from net worth of $35,000 to $1 million in 2 years. And it's like, and the more millions you're gonna make after you leave office. So I think I was reading something that says that the fastest way to go become a millionaire is just become a senator.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Manchin is actually the chairman of the Committee on Energy and Natural Resources. So he's not just on the committee; he's the chair.
He's the chairman,
and then he gets his money from coal.
So who put
coal?
He owns a coal.
There?
Yeah.
Chuck Schumer put him there, right? The speaker assigned him to that, right? Is that how it works? So like his colleague vote for it.
I'm not.
I think it goes by seniority. Actually,
if you know in the chat, let us know how people get appointed to committees.
Because I'm sure they would not want Bernie Sanders to be the chairman of the budget committee, like if they could help it. But because of seniority, I think he was like up next, and that's how it works.
So Rafael said Republicans' new strategy: run as a Democrat, then turn Republican when in office. That sounds like a reverse Gabe.
Reverse Gabe.
Let me show this. I thought this was a funny little video.
Can't play with you. Police ain't about to find no pounds in my car. I drive for Lyft.
So let me just set up the context real quick. So this guy got pulled over, and he has the cops looking for drugs. All right.
Right, you ain't gonna find. Come on now. Bernie Mac needs this. You see my Bernie Mac impression? You know what Bernie Mac is? You know Bernie? His motherfucking dog. He all in my motherfucking car. He ain't gonna find no motherfucking weed. I ain't got no weed. No cocaine. I'm too motherfucking broke. I don't want to drive for Lyft. Take you 20 hours.
I know we got cursing in it, but
I would say we get demonetized, but they don't let us get super chats anyway.
They give us no love anyway.
Oh man, R.I.P. Bernie.
But that's also that strategy is a terrible strategy that is employed by the police in this country. That they'll just bring a dog and then they'll give it a little wink and a nudge, and the dog will jump up and alert in an area, and mind you, there's no drugs in there, but it gives them the probable cause to search for, or there wasn't. So terrible.
Yeah, this is the tweet.
The fact that not one of those white people cops was even like cracking a smile, nothing. Like that was a great impression. Come on.
It was awesome.
They don't know. If you should have done Jerry Seinfeld, they would have known that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Toxic.
Yeah, here's a tweet of India Walton, the socialist who won the Democratic mayor in Buffalo. And while she is still campaigning, she is delivering DoorDash just to make money on the side. Wow. So that just shows the hustle that she has, but also the disadvantage that regular people have when they're running for office. This is something that definitely we need to fix. Maybe next time Imani comes on, we could talk to her about this, because I'm sure she could relate. I know she's doing campaigning full time, so I'm hoping that she's good. But donate to her. Go ahead.
Did you see Chuck Schumer endorsement?
Yeah, finally.
What? Wait, back up. What?
Chuck Schumer and Chuck Schumer, man, that dude's scared that somebody's priming him. He went out there and he endorsed her.
I'm telling you, when they're afraid, that's like when I was loving Scared Cuomo. I didn't want him to leave. I want him to be scared for a little bit longer. We could have had like all types of free stuff in New York, or taxpayer funded. Excuse me.
I wanted to say, since you brought that up,
afraid that he's gonna get primary.
So not that this woman has any shot whatsoever, but I did want to give her a quick shout out because she is running for New York City Mayor, Catherine Rojas, as a socialist. You put her up on the show before. She's not messing around. The general is coming up. I mean, the voting is happening right now, early voting. And she's not messing around. She is actually running for the position. So she's actually going to get my vote. I don't give a damn about Eric Adams. I don't care if he's running against a Republican or what. I am not going to vote for him.
Yes.
So she's going to get my
why
vote.
would you allow a Republican to win? You are a toxic and you will be canceled.
I know
How
Eric
dare you
Adams
vote
has
against the
anyway.
Democratic Party? You will be the reason that they win.
That's a very poor argument. 2016 does not the New York City mayoral race, but
since we're shouting out people that have no chance in winning, there's a mayoral race in Atlanta going on right now, and Antonio Brown, he's like the most progressive guy there. He's the only one. While everybody else is kissing the cop's butt over here, he's actually talking about redistributing, yeah, instead of refunding. But all the progressive things that under the sun, he's for, and therefore he has no chance, because right now, I mean, it's going to be a Democratic mayor. This is a very Democratic city, but they're like, establishment type people. Kasim Reed, he's a former mayor. He's back running again. He had a big scandal with the Atlanta Public Schools cheating scandal, and before that he was being touted as somebody that could be in Obama's administration back in the day, but scandals arose, and he left in disgrace, and now he's back.
Oh yeah, and also since we're doing that now, I think that's who I'm going to end up voting for in the governor race in Virginia. There's a third candidate, Princess Blauding, and she's she's out there and stuff. She may not have a shot of winning, but
no, I like her. I saw a video. Really first, she came on my radar when she was outside the debate, and I think they gave her an invitation. She was supposed to be in the debate. She worked her behind off with her volunteers to meet the requirement to be in the governor's debate. And then they said, no, we decided not to allow you to go in, but we could let you be in the audience. So she went in the audience, and then she started protesting from the audience. They kicked her out. And then she had a press.
I just don't know how you guys could waste your vote. This vote that we have it's a sacred American privilege that we have of voting, and for you guys to just so blatantly throw away your vote on a candidate that has no shot of winning.
Kali, do you want to take this one?
I just not even.
So I got a question. I got a question for both Izzy and for my man John. So if they're not successful, right? Let's be realistic. It'll be a miracle for them to actually win. Should they then, with the clout and the infrastructure that they built, should they then run as a Democrat in whatever position, but so state representative, state senator, whatever it is, House of Representatives? What you guys think? I'll go with Izzy first, then John.
I think that in New York, it probably goes for most of the country. Unfortunately, we don't have, even still to this day, even with ranked choice voting, we don't have a good third party system.
Yes.
So I think you kind of have to. I think you have to pull an AOC. I think you have to pull. You have to run from within the system to get your best shot. We do have a number of progressives that were elected to different positions. The comptroller was a Bernie endorsed progressive. We have even in not my city council, but we've had other people that have run that have been successful. So I think that's your best bet, unfortunately.
John.
I don't for Virginia, I don't even know if it will matter, because they won't still they're gonna blackball her, because they will say, let's say that whatever reason Terry doesn't win, they're gonna blame her. They're like, she was the reason why. Or even if it comes 3%, if you just come up by 2 points, they still gonna blame her. So they just gonna make it so difficult for her to run into anything in the Democratic Party. So I don't think it's worth it.
What was that, Gabe? So speaking of that, Izzy, in New York, there's a guy, I can't remember his name, but I remember he ran as a Green Party at a lower level first, and then he ran as a DSA candidate, meaning that DSA, they run in the Democratic Party, but they declare themselves as a Democratic Socialist, but they still run as a Democrat, and he won. So I think that might be the way that I would love to see people do that. If they try the third party, if you see that is not working out, try the Democratic Party and see what happens. I think that would be interesting. And Alan agrees. He says, take and use the clout. PJ Neat in the building. So we're going to do this last clip, and then we're going to call it a night. This one kind of it didn't go viral, but 6,000 is a good number, good amount of numbers.
Are you surprised that this this human infrastructure bill looks nothing like what we thought it would. Other than universal pre-K, everything that was initially proposed is either cut down or cut out.
Yeah, highlights the power of two senators in a 50-50 Senate, Steph. I mean, Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin have completely controlled this process from beginning to the end. They have stayed pretty steady in their beliefs. They've not wavered. There's really no negotiating in the sense that there's no convincing them that their views are wrong. Right? I mean, they are where they are, and the entire Democratic Party has to come to them, which has been frustrating for progressives. I will say, though, it's amazing. We wrote this in Punchbowl News this morning, but if you think about it, Democrats have been saying for years, rich people should get their taxes hiked. They should undo the Trump tax cuts. Now we're about to go into about to pass a bill here in Congress. Rich people, merely rich people, not billionaires, are going to come out fine. They're not going to see a capital gains hike. They're not going to see an individual rate hike. And the corporate tax is going to stay the same. So, yes, billionaires are going to see their taxes go up. People who make more than $100 million 3 consecutive years. But I want to add one fine point to that. It's impossible to overstate the difficulty of writing a tax like this in 1 week. Ron Wyden's been working on it for years. We've still not seen legislative text from him on this proposal. You are talking about a brand new tax on a class of earner that has never been done before, and they're trying to do over the course of a couple of days. It's absolutely wild.
And Jake, let's be clear. This is for billionaires who are making that much money year after year. It's not a wealth tax. And most people who have that kind of money don't get a paycheck that big every year. So it's really going to impact almost no one.
Yeah, what you guys think?
Exactly. It's not going to impact no one. They're just going to say, like, they're going to find a way to say, this year you only made 99 million.
But did you guys notice how gleeful those reporters were like acting? Like they were just all happy and giggly and like,
yeah, because it's a sport to them. They don't they're about the drama and the he said she said type deal. They don't care about the real nitty gritty I mean, at least this was good analysis saying that, you know, the billionaires are really not going to get hit regardless because they just make most of the money from investments anyway. They don't get the paychecks that way. But most of the time, they don't really ask the tough questions. They just said, this person says this and that person says that. They never said, like, this person said this and they were lying or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just to me, I'll be honest. If I'm the progressive, I don't take the 1.5. I say forget it. You just at that point, let it burn. It's time. Like why we always have to give in and be like, well, something is better than nothing. Like we're giving in all the time, and then just let it burn. And then if 2022 comes, just say thanks, Sinema and Manchin.
So in the chat, if you agree with John, press 1 in the chat. And if you don't agree with him, press 2. And let me go around the horn because I'm curious what everybody else thinks. Everybody else says, hey, kill everything, the human infrastructure and the bipartisan bill.
Yes.
Carlito says yes. Bendone. Yes. Gabe.
Kill it.
Izzy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with kill it on this one.
Really? So
yeah.
I think the only thing left was something for the children. I think it was like the children, like the nanny.
Universal pre-K.
And that's it. Yeah, and that was it. So you
take crumb. Let's just let it burn.
I know because they do it all the time when there's like, all right, we gotta get something out of it. At least we get this. And I agree with that a lot of times. Like, you know, I agree with that when it was like for the COVID relief. But in this situation, you know, there are times where you gotta draw some kind of line. And the other bill is really, it has a lot of negative things. The infrastructure one, you know, I think is like one of the things is like selling infrastructure to private companies and leasing it back or something. There's some things in there that are just horrible. So it's like, how much are you really getting? There's no point. So just kill it, and you know, let's see what Manchin's next move is. You know, if
imagine the power of running on that on the midterms instead of running on the failure. You run on. We need to get 3 more senators so that we don't need to, so that we could get rid of these other 2 eventually, and we could pass.
But you know what they're going to say, right? The conservative Democrats, they're not moderate, they're conservative Democrats. They're going to say like, because of these progressives, we didn't get anything. It's their fault. Vote for me because at least I wanted to give you something.
Yeah,
So
that doesn't hold weight. We have to control the messaging. The progressive caucus is massive. So it's like you can't let two people hold it hostage. And
yeah, but they
have to kill them. They have to death penalty.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But it's easier said than done. It's easy because they got all of corporate America behind them, pretty much.
But it's not that hard. All you got to do is just take the L right now and say, you know what? Right now we're running right now against them. Granted, it's 3 years away. And we're gonna say they have killed it. You scapegoat them. You say the entire they've kind of done it. They've said we're backing the Biden agenda. They're not backing the Biden agenda. So now it's just there's gonna be swing races in 2022. We got to get everybody in, and we need 2 more at least, right? Is that what it is?
Listen, I will go in and clip Biden when he was talking about that. Basically, when you have a 50-50 vote, every senator is basically president. And he said that. He says, Sinema is president one day, Manchin is president the next day. So they get to dictate what they want to say. So I will clip that and I will run on that. Like, again, we went from 6 trillion. We went from 6 trillion.
10
the compromise was 3.5.
Yeah.
Well, 10 to 6. From 6 to 3.5. 3.5 was the compromise. Now they're like, oh, you should take 1.5. And I'm telling you, if the progressive movement is to stay alive, they better not take this 1.5, because if they take that 1.5, I think that's probably the end of the progressive movement, because at what point they're going to continue to tell us, right? We're going to be like, oh, well, we got bigger fights the next one. We got to put it within. Like, this is it. This is we keep compromising, we keep taking, and
they already compromised on $50 minimum wage before.
All right, predictions. Is the squad going to take the 1.5, including Bernie and the rest of the progressives, or not? Or no?
They're going to take it.
They're going to take it.
They're going to take it. Izzy?
I'm like sad to say, because they probably will. They probably will. I don't know.
And who was the one that said this months ago?
Yeah, Carlito, what you think?
You know what? I'm gonna go with heart over mind. I'm gonna say they won't.
All right. All for nothing said they will take it. So with that said, let's end the show, man. I'm sorry to end on a sad note, but I really enjoyed the show. I enjoyed Imani. Do I have her website? Everybody go check out Imani. Give us some coins. Give us some love. And
put a
anything in the
emoji.
chat?
Let it burn. Put a fire emoji. Let everything burn.
As Alan said in the chat, those kids.
all for nothing said, remove the committee assignments before. So that's it. Remove the committee assignments. That'll be how you neutralize them.
Yeah. So, at some point you gotta say like, hey man, Manchin, you're doing too much, man. You're doing too much.
PJ Neat, PJ All for Nothing, PJ Chris, Holly Horn, PJ Raff in the chat. Much love to all my political junkies. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And maybe next week we will get the intro music right. We'll see.
Something else will mess up.
Anticipation. We'll see what happens.
Just remove Bendon from the committee of music.
It's not his fault. It's my fault. But let me go around the horn with my guys. Any last words, John?
Let it burn. Let it burn.
Izzy.
I'm good. I'll see you guys soon.
Carlito.
Go Hawks.
Bendon. I gave.
Brian Laundrie is dead.
Who cares?
Allegedly.
No, he's.
Yo, much love to everybody. Thank you for coming out. See y'all next week. Same show time, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like and subscribe. peoplesgauntlet.com. Check us out.
Come early for the pre-show.
Peace.